Hello, my friends, and welcome. If you are listening to this, then you have signed up for the 3 Secrets to Sweating Less. And hopefully, you have received either from my website, Empowered by Sweat, and signed up on there, or from one of my communities, like Facebook groups, or maybe even some sort of advertisement. Who knows? Or email. I'm everywhere. Anyway, thank you for signing up for the 3 Secrets to Sweat Less. Now, before I get started, I want to tell you who I am. I'm Megan. I'm Megan Cameron, and I am the owner of Empowered by Sweat and a certified life coach. Now, what does a life coach have to do with sweating less? I'm glad you asked. Well, even if you didn't ask, I'm going to tell you. What it has to do with is basically what a life coach does. What I do is I help you uncover what it is that's bothering you. So if there is something that's driving you nuts, like sweating, and it bothers you because you sweat too much and it's affecting how you think, feel, areas in your life, the results in your life, I help you discover why it's bothering you, what about it is bothering you, apart from the obvious, of course, the root cause of the problem, and then help you to get to where you want to be. So whether that is to sweat less, or it is to have a better relationship with yourself, to feel more confident, to feel less lonely, to have the career that you want, to meet that special somebody, to have a better relationship with the person that you're with, or even with yourself, I do all of that. So help you figure out why you are where you are today, what's bothering you, and help you get to where you want to be. And all the stuff in between is the tools and resources and information that I provide to help you get there, and essentially hold your hand through it all the obstacles, all the things that get in the way, all the things that have stopped you to this day from getting you to where you want to be. That's what I help with. That's what I do as a life coach. So without further ado, let me tell you the 3 secrets to sweating less. Here we go. Number 1, the nervous system. Now, you've all heard of our nervous system. We all have one. And this is what is so super cool about it. It's like the wiring inside of you that helps you to feel things and do stuff without even thinking about it. And let me elaborate on this a little bit more. So if you're feeling nervous or you're feeling stressed, a part of our nervous system called the vagus nerve can get a little too excited. So think of it as going to Vegas. When you go to Vegas, it's crazy. It's exciting. There's so much going on. It's overwhelming. And your nervous system reacts to that by getting really excited, getting a little anxious, feeling that overwhelm, and you sweat more. So it's when you hear your favorite song and your body you just start to dance or you start to sing and you're not even realizing it, that's like your nervous system kicking into gear, just doing its thing. But here's a secret. If we learn to calm down our nervous systems, our vagus nerve, we can actually reduce how much we sweat, which is why the nervous system is so important. And the way that our nervous system reacts to certain situations comes from so many different things, but one of them is our experiences. So if in the past we have had a whole bunch of experiences that have caused us to be nervous or anxious or stressed, and we haven't managed those in the past and released some of those experiences, those trauma, whatever you want to call it, then our nervous system is like the goggles that we put on, and we view every scenario and situation to come with those goggles, with that nervous system. And if we aren't paying attention to it, then the nervous system will be reacting based on its past experiences as opposed to based on being in the moment, what's actually happening in this moment. So some ways that I teach you to help manage that nervous system, and ways that you can do on your own, are deep breathing. So breathing in and breathing out. So imagine you're smelling your favorite pizza or delicious chocolate chip cookies or whatever smells good to you. Imagine breathing, taking that in, and then breathing out. And that's, I mean, I don't know for this for sure, but it makes sense to me when somebody, that phrase, stop and smell the roses, probably comes from this. Stop, like just take a minute to calm down, calm that nervous system. And this can help us to sweat less, especially in situations where we're not feeling safe and we're not feeling in optimal social engagement, which is that like fine space where we want to be when our nervous system is operating to its fullest, essentially. Now, the next secret is changing your thinking, essentially your mindset, and working on your mindset. Now, a lot of us aren't necessarily paying attention to what we're thinking all the time. We're just going about our day, right? Not paying attention to all the thoughts that come up in our mind. And when we don't pay attention to those thoughts, we could be having the same thought over and over and over. And because of that, it becomes a belief and goes into our subconscious where we don't even realize that we're thinking it. So the important part of mindset work is to notice what we're thinking and see what the impact is of those thoughts on our day-to-day life. And there's lots of things that we can try, like cognitive behavioral therapy. What I teach is a form of that. And also I teach the model that I've learned through my life coach school training. I learned from Brooke Castillo, and understanding those thoughts so that we're not, if those thoughts are what's contributing to us sweating more, noticing that, paying attention to that, and then slowly working on shifting our mindset can help us to sweat less, which is what we want, right? We want to focus on how we sweat less. So this is one of those secrets. And for example, if one of your thoughts are, I've got this, when you go out to an event, as opposed to, I'm going to sweat, then that can play a big role in how much you're sweating and how stressed you are and how anxious you are, and increase the amount that you're sweating. So, mindset work, big part of it. Now, secret number 3, finding physical solutions. Now, we all know that excessively sweating plays a huge role in how we go about doing our daily activities. That's real, right? If our hands are sweating a lot and we want to write on something and we're soaking the paper, that's real. That's not about the mindset. That's about you are physically soaking that paper and it causes issues. Or if you, some of my clients, they need to be able to work, they have to use their fingerprints. And if your hands are sweaty, there's an issue. or you're trying to grip onto something and your hands sweat. There's a safety, there's issues, right? So we want to also look into what physical solutions are available to us in order to help us to sweat less and manage our sweat. Now, if you have been diagnosed with something called hyperhidrosis, which is just a fancy medical term for excessive sweating, which again is subjective because, in my opinion, if sweat bothers you, then that's all that matters. If it's causing you physical and mental concerns, then that's what we need to address. So if you have something like hyperhidrosis, there's they're not a company, a non-for-profit resource called the International Hyperhidrosis Society, which is where I have got tons of my information from about the physical issues that need to be dealt with, but also the treatments that are available. Now, they're saying, as of right now, from all the information that I've seen out there, which is very like this, there's so much vast knowledge out there. But in particular, they say that there's no physical cure for hyperhidrosis. But I believe that anything is possible and that it could be out there. And if it's not out there now, it's going to be someday. That's my belief. That's what I see as possible. But for now, the treatment options are vastly, like, there's so much out there. So if you are looking for those sorts of solutions, then that is important too. And that is secret number 3, is finding a physical solution to the problem. Well, whether it is a problem. So those are the 3 secrets: the nervous system, changing our thoughts, managing our minds, and finding physical solutions. Hopefully this has helped you. And there are so many resources out there that that you can look into to find out more information on this. But in particular, empoweredbysweat.com. I have a bunch of information on there for you to check out if you're interested. My podcast, not Empowered by Sweat, How to Sweat Less. On there, I talk a lot. Well, I tell my story. I talk about other people that are dealing with this excessive sweating. I talk to professionals and people that are really qualified in certain areas of the sweating world, and also a bunch of different communities that I have out there set up for you that you can check out as well on Facebook, on TikTok, on Instagram. And also, if you choose to, if you're not part of my email list, which you probably are if you're receiving this, then join my email group. And lastly, if you want to connect with me, if you are interested in coaching or clothing solutions that I have specifically for women, but coaching, connect with me. I'm happy to tell you a little bit more about it, tell you my process and how we work together to create a program and a pathway to get you to where you want to be. So thank you so much for tuning in. And if you stayed with me this long, I am very grateful. And we will talk again soon. Thank you so much, everybody.